Well, Jimmy Kemp has put a different complexion on this football game. 10:32 to go. An impressive scoring march as Edmonton on the board.
Well, I mix it up well, but the great fake, I mean, here's the fake to Troy Mills and Steve Anderson. Hold it right there, 92. He is right in the corner of your screen there, and he bought it all the way, ran all the way across the formation with Troy Mills, and Kemp was on his own.
John Fleming to kick off after the Eskimo touchdown.
Fleming kicks it off, and this one will sail through the end zone. And come out to the 25, a 95-yard kickoff.
And the Stampeders.
As the quarterbacks will convert 7 plays.
And it was a good mix. Sorry, Chris. It was a good mix of running plays and time of possession at 3:40. Controlled the football and then mixing a couple of passes. Nice catch by Shannon Myers in that drive. And Kemp's got him on the board. And you know what? That's a lot of momentum. A defense that's been pounded a little bit is now on the field for Edmonton. They've got a bit of a lift. Thanks in part to that man.
Troy Mills has got a monster day for Edmonton offensively.
1st and 10.
And now, let's see how this highly regarded Eskimo defense responds after the touchdown. Anderson, great spin by Anderson, made another miss. Kelvin Anderson, a nifty 7-yard run.
Sometimes a running play is well blocked, and sometimes it's just a great individual effort by your tailback to get it done. And this time, it's the latter. Kelvin Anderson does a nice job. There's nothing at the point of attack, but he keeps working. A spin move there, a little deke on Dwayne Provo, and he did that all on his own.
Only 19 yards last week against Montreal. Then again, Calgary got behind and took the Stamps out of their game plan. Dickinson over the middle, and there's Vince Danielson. And a big first down for the Stampeders. 12-yard catch by the rangy slot back, the former UBC Thunderbird.
Well, this play is allowed to happen because Danielson can get all the way across the field. He's right there. He comes across the field, and because Dave Dickinson has lots of time, he gets to the far hash mark, and I can guarantee you that Odie Harris doesn't like to run that far to have to cover a guy. That's too long.
Danielson approaching 700 yards, led the Stamps in receiving a year ago. At the Calgary 44, Dickinson, Pitts, midfield, first down. And Willie Pless, the tackler for Edmonton.
Willie Pless, number 39.
Well, Pless had to make the tackle because he got caught short. Dickinson turned with the football. He got caught only about 2 yards deep. Had he taken a proper drop, you see to your left of your screen, if he gets a little deeper, he is right in the passing lane. Kind of too slow to get back into that drop, and Pitts got him behind him.
You call Dickinson the surgeon. The doctor is in the house. 16 of 21 since relieving Jeff Garcia. And now Anderson. And he has yet another 7-yard run, and you got to like that. How many times have we seen that today for Anderson? But Vince Danielson, you saw top of your screen with a little emotion and some shoving, and flags are on the turf. And Vince shaking his head.
Well, he was involved. He was right in the mix where...
Necessary roughness, Calgary, number 88, after the play was dead. Second down.
Well, he was caught right up in the mix where Kelvin Anderson was tackled. It's a little bump from Trent Brown, and it's always the retaliation that the officials will see. And that right hook to the left cheek of Brown that caught.
Boot Company is proud to support the Stampeder Football Club.
Stampeders, the most penalized team in the Canadian Football League at the halfway point. That's a surprise. And the man off the bench did the job today. Dickinson, pressure, down he goes. Jed Roberts with the sack, and it'll be third down. So after a couple of first downs, the Eskimos do shut the door, and they're going to get the football back for Jimmy Kemp.
Well, Willie Pless comes on the linebacker blitz right up the A-gap, or right between the center and the guard, and he provides the early pressure. Jed Roberts will get the sack, but when you're backed up against the wall, you need to make something happen defensively. Why not send everybody?
Come on, offense!
Still over half the fourth quarter to go. And a 12-point Calgary lead. Gizmo at his 28. And he has not found any room against that punt coverage of Calgary today. Eskimos still in this as Jimmy Kemp puts them on the board in the fourth quarter. Our next game, the CFL on CBC, and the road to the Grey Cup from Skydome next Saturday. The BC Lions off a tough loss against Montreal. You were in Vancouver on the weekend. It's great to have you on board.
Hey, I'm having fun.
Lions v. Argos next Saturday, and here at McMahon, we're far from done. Kemp back at the controls. Looks to the near side and has a completion to Wiggins at the 50. Pickup of close to 5 as Marvin Coleman limited the damage.
Well, we haven't seen a lot of Brian Wiggins in this football game, and this is the guy that the Edmonton Eskimos are hoping will become the go-to guy for this offense. There has been 7 receivers that have lined up so far this year in that position. Brian Wiggins is the 8th.
Now, you saw a lot of him a few years ago, though. Remember a game in '94?
Now, you had to bring this one up.
16 catches, 235 yards against Saskatchewan. Where the heck was the safety?
Well, let's put it this way. I know how to spell Wiggins. I saw his name tag a lot.
There's Donnie Blair on the other side. So Kemp distributing the football to first Wiggins and then Don Blair. And the first down for the Edmonton Eskimos.
Yeah, Don Blair is going to catch the hitch pass to the outside. And it's a good decision for Jimmy Kemp to go to this hurry-up game, this quick passing game. When you get a good pass rush, get rid of that ball in a hurry.
6:10 to go. First down, Edmonton at the Calgary 51. And now it's Mills. Just a pair on that carry. Ray Jacobs, Salandra Johnson in on the tackle.
When you pull offensive linemen and run what's called a counter play, what you can beat it with on defense is penetration. And this is a counter. Troy Mills has got to get out here, but it takes time to develop. If you penetrate, like you saw in 92, Steve Anderson get up in there, all goes for a knot. So penetration will kill the counter.
Are the Eskimos in 3-down range yet or not? With 5.5 minutes to go, they need 2 touchdowns. This is a big second down play, 2nd and 8. Troy Mills unable to make the circus catch as Alondra Johnson was in coverage.
Wow, you know, Alondra Johnson has had a huge game this afternoon. We have seen him throw some vicious hits. He's been solid on the run, and now he is going to go all the way downfield in coverage, dive like a defensive back, and just get a fingertip on that football.
So Kemp strung together a couple of first downs. But it's a punting situation. You can hear the music in the background. Yeah. Just had an over-exuberant fan run the length of the field in what would be called the street.
Yeah. It's warm in here.
Fleming angling it, but it bounces into the end zone. And Terry Vaughn letting it bounce around and out. So a single point, and now it's an 11-point game. Let's go back to what you were looking for at the top of the show.
Well, when you think about the Edmonton Eskimos, I mean, looking for another target. Kemp waited until the 4th to get the touchdown. They really haven't found that. They did disrupt the rhythm of Garcia, but then Dickinson came in and did a number on them, and Calgary stopped the run. Well, Eskimos have had some success, but they haven't been able to build on that with a passing game and test the defensive backs. Well, Dickinson's had some success, as has Adam Pitts.
Timeout for the 7-11 scoring drive.
Dave Dickinson's been a big story this afternoon, and now with under 5 minutes on the clock, if Wally Wano can get a time-consuming drive from his offense, they'll put number 7 in the victory column. Dickinson in some trouble, and he took a lick. Dave Dickinson sandwiched by Leroy Blue and Willie Pless. Leroy helping him up, but I'm not sure Dave wants to get up.
I don't think he does. He got hit in the back of the head from Willie Pless. Leroy Blue was holding him, and when you get hit in the back of the head, that's where you can get knocked right out cold. But to his credit, Dickinson did get up, and he's going to have to shake this one off.
Yeah, how tough is he? He gets up, and there's two Eskimo defenders still down, Robert Brown and Willie Pless.
Robert Brown had the injury problem early when he almost went offside. Looked like he may have pulled a hamstring slightly, but he's back in the game. Now here's the hit. Watch the big hit. That's Blue first, and then Pless coming back. When you get hit in the back of the head like that, your head snaps, you know, tough one, but he got up.
Dickinson in some trouble, and he took a lick. Dave Dickinson sandwiched.
He didn't want to get up there, you're right. Leroy Blue doing the sportsmanlike thing, but Dickinson just says, you know what, I just think I want to lie on the field for a minute, just make sure I have my bearings. Might get up and go to the wrong huddle.
He was back in Montana for a moment.
What you do is you ask the guy a couple of questions. He gets 2 out of 3 right, he's back in.
So how did you feel the day after your Labor Day Classic? A little tough getting out of bed?
Well, you know, in the latter parts, it was tough getting out of bed after every game. But the Labor Day Classic, whether it be in Regina or here in Calgary, always seems just a little bit tougher to play from a contact sense.
2nd and 8. Another big play for the Eskimo defense, trying to get the ball back for Kemp and the green and gold offense. Dickinson can't find a receiver, and now tossing it away, and it is an incomplete forward pass.
Well, the officials called it quickly, but looked like it was very close to being a lateral.
Instead, an incompletion, but a punting situation for Calgary.
About now steps up in the pocket. He's just in front of that. Just in front of that line when he takes another huge hit. This time it's Benny Goods and Jed Roberts.
Wow. And Jed Roberts knew he got all of Dickinson because he was calling to the Calgary bench to come out and help the quarterback. And Pless is still shaken on back-to-back plays. So the quarterback on defense and the quarterback of the Calgary offense, tough series. Jeff Garcia may be pressed back into duty.
Dinged earlier in the game. I think Wally Bono obviously hoping he didn't have to go back to his starter. Rather have him rest with back-to-back. Getting hit in the head twice in a row, going back to last week, but may have to.
Under 4 minutes to go, but the Eskimos one big play away from really tightening this affair up. And they nearly got it, got a block punt. Flag down. Here's Gizmo. And once again, can't say enough about the Stampeders' punt coverage this afternoon. But there is a flag on the field, and it looks like holding against the Eskimos. Or check that Calgary.
Well, it's way in the backfield where you would think that there would be a holding. Kay Stevenson indicating that he wants to take the penalty and try and improve his field position. Scott Fawcett right there, the special teams
Calgary,
coach.
number 41, 3rd down repeated.
Wally Bono's added a fine system, but the fine system for penalties is only for dead ball fouls, fouls that happen after the whistle, undisciplined fouls. So there likely won't be a fine for this one as Anthony McClenahan comes across, and looks like he horse collars with the face mask on Errol Martin.
Whereas the roughing call earlier on Danielson might be a costly one. Depending on how Judge Wally wants to rule. Eskimos could get the football in nice shape here. Good kick by Martino, though. Giz at his 37. No room to operate. 46-yard punt by Martino. But for the dominance today, the Eskimos still with the chance.
Now.
Stampeder pride and wear red and white. The east side wears red, the west
Back
side
at
wears
Big
white.
Man, 2:55 remaining in the fourth quarter.
Well, Steve Anderson leads this team in pressures. He won't get a credit for a sack on this play, but that's what a pressure is. Get to the quarterback, disrupt his throwing motion.
2nd and 10 at the 41.
2nd and 10 at the Eskimo 41-yard line. Here comes the pressure, and they knock it down. Eddie Davis on the blitz came free, and it brings up 3rd down, Eskimos.
Eddie Davis gambled and won. When you're coming on a secondary blitz and Eddie Davis was on the dead fly, if you leave your feet, you're taking a chance that the quarterback can pump fake it and bring it down. He's going to come from the right of your screen. Now, this is a big gamble. If he goes up and Kemp pumps that and takes off, he's dead. Gamble paid off, and he bats that one out of the air.
Well, Davis has had a big afternoon. And Sean Fleming will punt on 3rd and 10. There was a brief discussion at the Eskimo bench about gambling on 3rd down, with time now a major factor. 2.5 minutes to play, and the Eskimos need 2 major scores. Is a flag down on the field after the punt return by Coleman.
Well, that's a good point, Chris, because, I mean, you get 2 minutes left, or just over 2 minutes, and you need 2 scores. It's almost 3-down football from that point on.
Well, Jeff Garcia returns.
Colby, Calgary, number 31, 1st down.
Roger Reinson called for holding. That pushes the Stamps back, and now Edmonton looking to pin the Stampeders deep.
Apparently Dave Dickinson's problem was a muscle pull, he wasn't dinged, so he's out because of a problem with his leg, and Garcia, of course, was dinged earlier, so interesting to see if he can focus on the defense.
Calgary really only needs a 1st down or 2 to put this one away. Anderson brought down at the 15. Odie Harris with the tackle.
This is a big down for the Edmonton defense. I mean, this is your chance right now to give your offense good field position with this stop on the next down. Get a chance to go in and try and score one of those majors. Don Wilson, one of the veterans, is going to have to get in that huddle and say, boys, this is where we need the big play. Someone has to rise up, come up with the interception, or at least hold them short so they have to punt the football.
2nd and 9. Play action. And Garcia flipped out of his hands, complete at the 21-yard line. A wounded duck becomes a completion, and I think Jeff's heart skipped a beat there.
Well, Garcia was rolling out. He usually throws with a glove on his hand, but he doesn't have the glove anymore, and that ball got away from him a little bit. Just started tailing off.
Well, that's the 2nd unusual reception by Terry Bond today. He caught a tip earlier in the game, and that one stopped short of a 1st down.
But the Edmonton Eskimo defense did what they had to do. Now they forced Calgary into a punting situation. Gizmo Williams should have decent field position, and provided for his offense, they have a little bit of life left.
Ticats with a measure of revenge for the trouncing they took in Toronto a few weeks ago.
Eskimos called timeout.
Eskimos have called a timeout, stopping the clock with 1:55 to go.
7.
Now it becomes an interesting race in the East when you mention that score, Toronto-Hamilton game. Montreal at 7-2, Hamilton at 8-2. Or excuse me, yeah, both tied at 8-2. Montreal, of course, won a couple nights ago.
And the Argos fall 3 back. Toronto won today. The race for first may have been a 3-way affair. Lots of games between those teams yet, though, so don't count the Argos out. And if this score prevails, the Stampeders will move ahead. I'm not sure the decision desk hasn't reacted a little early here. with Martino in, deep in his own zone. Got it away, though, and now Gizmo. Ducks under one. Nothing doing today, and that has been a major sidebar. Roger Reinson down to make a tackle.
Aldi Henry has been a great special teams player. Roger Reinson is in charge of snapping the football and then covering it. He's been like a headhunter so far in special teams for the Stamps. So they're getting it done on special teams, no question. That's a tough job. You got to look between your legs, snap it 15 yards. You get hit off the line of scrimmage, then you cover it. It's a tough one.
So Jimmy Kemp has a minute 46 to work with, and he has to score quickly because the Eskimos need 2 possessions. Kemp looks downfield and has a man, and it's jarred loose. Brian Wiggins had it, and it was knocked loose by Dave Van Bellingham, who last year on the Labor Day weekend was bow hunting. He was head hunting that time with Brian Wiggins in his sights.
It's the second time that Brian Wiggins has been hit hard in this football game. The first one was Alonja Johnson, and this time it's the safety, Dave Van Bellingham, who reads this one nicely. That ball is caught, and Van Bellingham separates Wiggins from the football with a great hit.
2nd and 10. Van Bellingham's did a great job replacing the injured Greg Knox. And here's a near interception as Darrell Hall had it slip through his hands. The veteran linebacker nearly with the pick, but it sets up a 3rd down, and now the Eskimos have to go.
Well, you know that Jimmy Kemp will be forcing the football at that time in the game where he's behind and he really has to throw it down the field. And that one, he just threw it into double coverage. Hall had a great shot at it and dropped the football, but you got to force a little bit in this situation, and you know they're going to go to 3 downs, and Jimmy Kemp stays in the game.
100th game of Hall's CFL career, 6 years, plus 3 more with the Denver Broncos. And now it's down to this, 3rd and 10 for Edmonton. Little time for Kemp, and now Falls got caught up in the traffic and is finished off by Bronzell Miller. And for the 2nd time today, it's turned over on downs.
Well, Jimmy Kemp slipped on the play and tripped and fell down. Bronzell Miller gets credit for the sack, but you know what? That front 4 for the Calgary defense deserves to get a couple of stats to pad it as this game winds down, because they have been consistent from start to finish, generally doing it with 3- and 4-man rush, not a lot of blitzing, and that's an easy one for Bronzell Miller, but boy, they've earned it with their work ethic today in this football game.
1st and 10, Calgary at the Eskimo 38.
Their ears have been ringing a bit about being the weak link on this team. Not today. Anderson across the 35. Remember, Edmonton used its timeout. 4 more for Kelvin Anderson. And the clock will be running.
Well, it'll be interesting to see, first of all, who will be healthy for the rematch in Edmonton next week, because there's been a few guys go down in this game, but whether or not Jeff Garcia or Dave Dickinson will start the football game will be a big question, I'm sure a lot of people ask here in Calgary during the week.
Jimmy Kemp or Dave Archer. Both coaches have some decisions to make. Here's Anderson again, a 1st down, and a whole lot more as Kelvin Anderson pads his stats on what has been a big afternoon. 16 more.